my friends! Welcome to the second AMA session. You guys had the chance to ask me questions in the community tab again, and I'm going to answer the most upvoted ones. If you want to appear in the next video as well, make sure to subscribe so you're not missing your next chance to ask a question. The first question of today is from Karina. A few days ago you said you wanted to create a second channel with the goal of becoming the top global 111. My questions are, have you thought of a name of a channel? Yes, I have. Am I revealing it already? Yeah, why not? So, the new channel name is 𝐷𝐷𝐸𝐼𝐽. On screen you can probably see now the logo as well as the, how's this thing called? Banner, the channel banner. The progression, well, the first episode is already recorded. It's going to be very interesting because I'm playing against a very toxic Beatrix. It was really fun. More I don't want to spoil. The schedule of uploads, I try to upload daily, but obviously not with the same editing effort that I have on my regular videos. It's more of a gameplay channel for the enjoyment of the gameplay instead of having 1000 meme effects. Let's be real here. I don't have the time nor the resources to make that. If the channel is going to be very, very successful, I will definitely invest the money to have an editor for it. But for now, it's more like a little fun side project. A side project of a side project. As ML Guide is also still a side project for me. And the aftermath after reaching your goal. I haven't thought of the aftermath. I think there are many videos you can make about a singular hero. I mean, you can see there are so many channels who are super successful covering only one hero. Some of them are also very clickbaity, but there are also other channels who generally just try out many different things, many builds, many fun challenges, and so on. So I would say there are definitely enough topics that I can make a video about. And what I learned from YouTube, like not every viewer is sticking with your channel anyway, so it's not forbidden to do a video again after a while because you have many new viewers and many old viewers left already because, yeah, they moved on with their life. In this series, solo queue to mythical glory using every hero only once, which was the most fun hero to play except one. Okay, sad. The most fun hero to play. I think I have two heroes who were the most fun, who surprised me. The first one was actually Layla. Yeah, it is actually Layla because usually I never really play Layla, as in high ranks it's kind of hard playing with her because of her kit. But since Moonton actually gave her some buffs, she's not as useless anymore. This is the first thing. And secondly, when you know how to position yourself, she is really fun because you can dish out an extreme amount of damage. If you have good enemies who target you, you still have a very hard time. But I would say at least until Mythic, she can be a very good hero if you know how to position yourself. And the second one that was really fun for me was 𝐾𝐤𝐬. I really like his regen mechanic, which is really nice to stay in the battle for a longer time. I generally like his kit with, you have a nice ult engage. His first skill is very nice to deal damage. I like his passive because you can roam around really fast. And in general, I just had a lot of fun playing with him. I can't even describe it 100% myself why it is that I had a lot of fun, especially with him. But it just is so. Like, you have some heroes you really don't like playing. For example, for me, it's Dairoth. I don't like playing Dairoth. You could see it in the match. I missed all my ults. I don't like to play him. For some reason, his kit for me is like blah. And for some reason, I like 𝐾𝐤𝐬's kit. Third question. I'd love to hear about yourself, how's life, how it feels hitting 100k subs, and so on and so on. Life currently is pretty good, I would say. YouTube is running pretty good, I think. Like, with the daily uploads reaching, every video is reaching like 20,000 views is incredible, I would say. Even this Ask Me Anything videos is reaching over 20,000 views, which means if I would imagine I would sit somewhere on a chair, in front of me there would be 30,000 people. It's like a medium-sized stadium of people who are sitting there and watch my videos. That would be like, I would probably pee my pants. But yeah, when you consider that, the YouTube channel is running really well. Yeah, everything else is great too. Looking forward for my holiday in the Philippines in July and August. And yeah, what else can I say? It's just running very good. The next question is from Eleanor. That being said, would you ever consider making reaction or commentary videos about professional matches? I would love to see a reaction for the upcoming MSC or M5. So what I can say, I'm currently not planning to make videos specifically for the MSC and the M5. Some content related to it, especially when it comes to item builds, for example. Maybe you remember I made a cooperation with Strongwill, and I think we will make a couple more videos explaining many item choices that they're making in the pro scene, because it's something that is very, very interesting. The pro scene in general interests me more than before, because it's a topic where you can talk for hours, for days you can talk about it. So it's something that I will get into, and I don't want to spoil too much, but there is things happening in the background when it comes to the European pro scene. As you know, I'm from Germany. Here in Europe, we basically have no active pro scene, but we're working on stuff in the background. So don't be surprised, not for the M5, but maybe for the M6. Don't be surprised when you suddenly have an EU pro team in there. I hope this is what would be the ultimate goal. So when it comes to that direction, you can expect a lot of content, definitely. The next questions are from Just the Channel. 3 questions for you. What do you think about this meta, and how long will it take to change to something like ADC or Assassin meta? I know many people like to complain about different kinds of meta. For me, it was never really a big deal what kind of meta we currently have. How long will it take to change? Well, this is only something that Moonton basically knows. It doesn't look like, when you look at the recent patch notes, that they're going to change anything drastic about it. I would even say they're making more heroes being able to fit into the tank meta. For example, 𝐉𝐸 they buffed in a way that she can now use defensive items, which was not really possible before. So I don't think they will do any radical change in the next months. I don't want to say years, but in the next months, I don't see that they will change anything about it. Is it hard to start as an MLBB creator? Actually, it's really, really not hard starting as an MLBB creator. To mention 2, check out 𝐃𝐤𝐬𝐜 and 𝐉𝐸. Both came more or less out of nowhere, and both had made guides that reached over 100,000 views. It is not as hard being a Mobile Legends creator when it comes to guides. It's just Mobile Legends guides are a lot of work, trust me. I talked with 𝐃𝐤𝐬𝐜 just yesterday. And yeah, when you look at his videos, for example, he has a specific gameplay scene for every sentence basically he talks about. This is, when you watch the video, it seems small. But this is so much work. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It is so much work. You have to record a perfect scene inside of a real gameplay for basically just 2 sentences in your video. And you have a video that goes like 10 minutes long. So you have to play, if you do it like him, you have to play like 20 matches at least. Unless you're really, really good with recording gameplay, which I luckily am already. As a little spoiler, I'm working on a Brody guide currently, and I could record every scene that I needed in 3 matches, because I made myself a plan before making the matches what kind of scenes I have to record. But yeah, it is just a lot of work. But if you manage to pull off this kind of guide, success is almost guaranteed if you put in the effort. The Mobile Legends YouTube scene is still very flat. There's not like so much competition. So long story short, at least when it comes to guides, not really hard. Have you used the creator camp for newbies? I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Maybe you can tell me in the comments one time what that even is. And you think it's better to go alone or find assist in the official MLBB guidelines? What official MLBB guidelines? Guidelines for creating content? From Moonton itself, I can say there's not like a lot of help. I saw they were promoting, or they made a video together with 𝐿_Jin, which is awesome, because I think I'm talking since 2 years about that Moonton should finally use the potential they have with Mobile Legends content creators, and 𝐿_Jin is definitely one of the best we have. So they should use that to promote guides inside of the game to help people, or what means help people, to little bit force even the casuals to learn the basics of the game, because I believe it would also make life easier for them when playing the game, because a MOBA is just not the easiest game type in the world. It's not like Minecraft where you can just do all kind of random BS and you can't basically do anything wrong. This has nothing to do with the question, but anyway. What do you think about the YouTube monetization, like videos of yours, the type of content for video games, and how much could you take to... I couldn't read anymore. How would you consider this as a job? So the monetization is becoming better from YouTube. This is what I can see. When I started to be monetized, I made around about $1 to $1.10 per 1,000 views. Currently, depending on the video, somewhere between $1.30 to $1.50 per video. For 1,000 views, of course, which is still not incredibly high. If you think about, I have a video that have 30,000 views and I get $1.50 for it per 1,000 views. I make $45 for one video with 30,000 views. It's not the world, definitely not. That's definitely not enough to make a living here in Germany. There are ways to make better monetization, like with sponsorships, with merch. I could sell like these kind of things. There's no official Mobile Legend merch, so I think that could be something that could be sold, but since it's a worldwide audience, it's kind of hard to do it. And honestly, I never took YouTube as a full business. I would say I spend 95% of the time actually creating content, and only 5% is dedicated to other stuff like having a sponsorship, thinking about stuff like monetize my stuff. And this is something that I would have to do much more if I would consider it as a job. Could I consider YouTube in general as a job? Definitely. Not necessarily just Mobile Legends, because when you have a channel that is dedicated to Mobile Legends, you're very dependent on the game. If people start to move on, if there's other games coming out, for example, when Genshin, for example, was becoming very popular, I could see the impact that many people started to play Genshin, and because of that lose some interest in Mobile Legends, and I could really see that many viewers stopped watching my videos simply because they moved on from Mobile Legends, and this is just something that is happening non-stop, which is also something that changed my mindset a little bit. I will talk about that a little bit later as well. So I could consider taking YouTube as a job, but not necessarily in the Mobile Legends niche. Let's call it Mobile Legends niche. It will be more talking about YouTube itself, how to grow on YouTube, because this is something, if you have the right knowledge about it, I would say everyone who's putting in the effort can easily grow a channel with 100,000 subs. It's really not that hard if you have the knowledge. Really, trust me. Staying consistent, keeping the views up. That's the hard part. This is the thing what I'm struggling with as well. But yeah, I talked already way too long about that. Let's move on. Sam asked, by using every hero once, by far, so far, which heroes you enjoyed the most? I already answered that, Layla and Carla, but since you had 9 upvotes, I still included you, so you're in the video. Yay! Sahil asks, what are your thoughts on the matchmaking system? Do you think it benefits solo players anyway? Firstly, the matchmaking system is so much better than it was before. If you played already in 2020, you still remember that you as a solo team, you could meet trios. You could be in a solo team. 5 members of the team are solo, and the enemy has a trio. That trio will always win. If they play good together, they will always win. So this was really like the worst. The matchmaking system has really improved to a way that when I play solo, and I play 99% of my matches solo, you almost always really play solo, or the worst thing that can happen to you is that you have a duo in your team, which is often not like that bad. And from the win rates that I can see when playing on my regular account, where I'm just ranking up without any YouTube. I mean, now I'm doing YouTube for 1-1, but that is usually my general playing for fun rank up account. I have a win rate in this season of over 92% with 1-1, with like, I think 26 matches. I didn't rank up so much, but still. Every match was fair in a way that I could actually carry all to victory with 1-1. This I was able to do. 2 years ago, it was a lot harder to do that because you had much more unfair matchmakings. And you also have to consider Moonton is putting many things into account. Like they're putting the overall win rate, the current season win rate into account. They take the last matches into account. But even when you would have the perfect matchmaking, in theory, you always have the one how to say the word in English? The one variable that they can't influence, and that's the player's current ability. Let's say it's like this, or the daily ability. You have days where you're the best player in the world. You win every match. You're super focused. When I'm playing 1-1, whenever I try to get my ult, I get all my ults whenever I want them. The enemies are positioning themselves in the right way that I can activate my ult at the perfect moment, get maniacs and savages everywhere. Then you have days where you just can't get your freaking ultimate because for some reason you're always a millisecond too late or a millisecond too early. Your timings are just off. You just have a bad day. That happens. Everyone has good and bad days. And this is something Moonton can take into account because, yeah, they can't predict who's having a good day, who's having a bad day right now. Unless you already played a couple of matches, then they can do it. But when you just start the game fresh, they cannot know how good is your current mood. And then you have some players who are usually good. They have a 60% win rate, but they just have a really, really shit day. Maybe they didn't sleep well, school, work was shit. You know, they have a big headache and they think like, oh, the day was shit, I'm going to play ranking. And they perform super, super badly because they are not in the mood to play very good and they don't have the mood to play to the best abilities. And then sometimes you have bad luck and you have matches where you have 3 of those guys who have a bad day and then they're even becoming toxic. Even though maybe usually they're not toxic, on that day they're super toxic. And then you have like a death count of 5 to 35 and you lose and you're like, what the hell is this matchmaking? But yeah, this is something Moonton can take into account and something that just can't be fixed in the solo queue environment. There are things to improve, like for example, pre-select the role you want to play. Why Moonton is not implementing this, I really don't know, because it would make, especially in lower ranks, things so much easier. I mean, at least in high ranks, people are more willing to adjust. In low ranks, yeah, how I just uploaded a video with Minotaur where I had 3 MMs, so. And we still won. Mindset. Mindset is everything. If you get triggered by that you have 3 MMs and you just throw the game, of course you will not have a good win rate. You have to take it as it is. You have 3 MMs now, okay. See the positives. In the late game, you will completely demolish the enemies because your damage is going to be crazy. So you just somehow have to survive the early to mid game. With this mindset, you can win so many more matches. I can really talk about short questions for hours. Next question from Abhu. I have never seen anyone talk about gameplay intricacies. What is this word? I don't even know this word. Like lane freezing, lane setting, where you kill only the siege minions so waves accumulate and push the lane, animation cancelling, forcing the enemy team out of the base, and stuff like having a roamer defend a lane to let someone heal or rotate and stuff like that. Do you think you could make a video regarding a lot of those things? I think it means things. Massive fan, by the way. Thank you. Many of the things I actually talked about already, like lane freezing. I think I mentioned it at least already 10-20 times in so many videos. I never made a detailed video regarding lane freezing, but I definitely mentioned it already a long time ago. Lane setting is definitely also something I mentioned in my gameplay videos because I'm doing that. I love to do that. Animation cancelling. Animation cancelling is something I talked about for Brody because you can cancel his animation by yourself. But yeah, this I never really talked about. Forcing the enemy team out of the base. I also talked about that. Forcing an enemy out of the base by just not attacking the minions. But this is just super, super hard to pull off in a solo queue environment where people just don't know it. Where people just randomly attack minions. And I'm also doing it simply because otherwise I would get behind in farm. Because I can't just stay in the bush and wait forever while my team is shoving the minion waves into the enemy's face. And yeah, also like stuff having Roma defend a lane. In my gameplay videos, I'm showing that, I'm talking about that, but I also never made a detailed guide about this. However, after this way too long explanation, I talked about many of these things, but never like in a detailed guide. As my channel name is still a male guide, maybe one day I will actually change it, because I think many videos that I make are maybe not 100% successful, like gameplay videos, for example, simply because the channel name is ML Guides. You're not expecting to have a gameplay. So maybe one day I'm actually going to change this. Until now, I'm still too scared to do it, because like I build up a brand with the name ML Guide. When you suddenly change that name, it can have a lot of effects, but it also can have a positive effect, as people expect different things. So I'm not only making guides anymore. Like for the beginning, it was a very, very good channel name. But as I'm going to do a lot of gameplay videos, I'm going to do lore videos as well, update videos, which are somewhat guides as well, but still not like 100% guides. I'm thinking about changing my channel name. I'm basically doing the same story as 𝐿_J. His name was ML Guide 2 when he started out. So I will probably change my name one day. This is not where I wanted to go with this question. What I wanted to say is I'm going to make a long guide series again, where I basically try to put a playlist together with all relevant guides that are somehow possible to make. So a rule guide, I guess I have made rule guides, but the quality of them is just not on the level as I can produce now. So I'm going to remake them, and much better, with much better information. I made a beginner guide, which is very, very nice to have. Rotation guides, solo queue guides, trio guides, 5-man guides. I actually have a 5-man guide, what I'm working on currently. And so on and so on. So really like a playlist of like hopefully 40 to 50 videos of super detailed guides that I put all into a playlist. So if anyone new comes into the game, they can basically go through this playlist and check the videos that they're interested about. Hero guides is also a thing that I'm going to do more, because hero guides are, firstly, to be honest, easy to produce when you know the hero. And it's evergreen content, which means there will be always people who want to learn that hero. I made a Alucard and Kagura guide, for example. In the beginning, they were really, really underwhelming and not really successful. Both reached over time over 100,000 views, simply because people are searching for a Kagura guide, for an Alucard guide. And then you slowly but steady, you have 100 to 200 views per day over 1 year. That's a massive amount of views you're stacking up. So the goal would be to have a hero guide for every hero. And for that, I'm going to make a little community project, which is not failing like the one that I tried before. I think I'm just talking today way too much. This should have been the first question. From Miko. What should we call you? Nico. I'm Nico. Hi. I probably will change my name to my channel name to somewhat related to Nico, so people know, okay, that's Nico. Hi, Nico. Yeah. Next, a little off-topic question from SW09. First of all, I really like your content and your little jokes in your video. Thank you. What football club do you like support? And do you follow the current season in the German Bundesliga? Because I saw that you follow a German football channel like 𝐾 Berlin. Shout out to the 𝐾 Berlin guys. They will never see it, I know, but shout out to them. They do awesome work. And they also have a Nico. Football, we're not talking about American football. We are talking about the real football. I support a team that is called Hamburger SV, who is now in the 2nd division, who was very, very successful like 30, 40 years ago, 40 years ago. Now, I think exactly today, 40 years ago, we won the Champions League. So basically the biggest trophy you can win in the world. Nowadays, we're in the 2nd division, and on this weekend, hopefully, we finally make it back to the Bundesliga, to the 1st division. But I can also say I'm not following it as close as I was like 5 years ago. I watch some football content on YouTube to stay up to date, but I'm not really watching football live anymore, because I don't have enough energy and time to watch like 5 hours of football on the weekends, because firstly my daughter and wife would be mad at me for watching all the time football, and I couldn't convince my daughter yet to enjoy watching football with me. So yeah, I'm only watching the highlights on Monday, where they are released mostly. And yeah. And the next question is from Vince. More tips on ranking up? Yes! Watch this video where I made the current tier list. See you over there!